The life and legacy of Rick Moranis. Ladies and gentlemen, today I am honored to present to you the story of a beloved actor who has captured the hearts of audiences across the world. A man whose talent and humor have left an indelible mark on Hollywood and popular culture, Rick Moranis. Early life and beginnings. Frederick Allen Moranis, known to the world as Rick Moranis, was born on April 18, 1953, in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Growing up in a Jewish family, Rick's early life was marked by the unassuming surroundings of middle-class Canada. Toronto in the 1950s and 1960s was a cultural mosaic, a melting pot of traditions, languages, and creativity. It was here that Rick first developed his sense of humor and a knack for storytelling. Moranis attended high school at Sir Sanford Fleming Secondary School, where his sense of humor began to shine. He was known among his peers for his quick wit and ability to mimic just about anyone. Rick had a natural comedic timing that stood out, even in his teenage years. His high school friend and future collaborator, Geddy Lee of the legendary rock band Rush, would later recall that Rick had a sharp mind and a knack for making people laugh. Rick's fascination with radio and broadcasting was evident from an early age. By the 1970s, he began working as a disc jockey for Toronto's radio stations under the name, Rick Allen. This was where his love for the creative arts started to merge with his comedic sensibilities. The birth of a comedy icon. Rick's big break came in the 1970s when he entered the world of television comedy. He became involved with the Toronto branch of the famed improvisational comedy troupe The Second City. It was here that Rick's talent truly began to flourish, as he honed his skills alongside other comedy legends like John Candy, Catherine O'Hara, and Eugene Levy. In 1980, Rick joined the cast of the Canadian sketch comedy television show Second City Television, more commonly known as SCTV. The show was a hit, renowned for its sharp satire and unforgettable characters. Rick became a standout performer, creating iconic characters like Bob McKenzie, one half of the beer-loving Canadian duo, Bob and Doug McKenzie, alongside Dave Thomas. Their skits became a cultural phenomenon, leading to the release of the comedy album Great White North in 1981, which earned them a Grammy nomination. The characters even starred in their own cult classic film, Strange Brew, in 1983. Hollywood stardom. Rick's success on SCTV opened the doors to Hollywood, and throughout the 1980s and early 1990s, he became one of the most sought-after comedic actors in the industry. His ability to blend humor with a genuine, everyman charm made him a fan favorite. His Hollywood debut came in the 1983 film Strange Brew, but his star truly rose with a string of box office hits. Let's take a moment to reflect on some of his most iconic roles. Louis Tully in Ghostbusters 1984. Rick played the awkward, nerdy accountant Louis Tully, whose quirky personality and comedic timing stole the show. His improvisation skills were on full display, adding layers of hilarity to the film. Seymour Krelborn in Little Shop of Horrors 1986. As the timid flower shop assistant who discovers a man-eating plant, Rick showcased his ability to combine comedy with musical talent. His performance in this dark comedy musical remains one of his most beloved roles. Wayne Szalinski in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids 1989. This role solidified Rick's place as a family-friendly comedy star. As the lovable but absent-minded inventor, he brought humor and heart to the science fiction comedy. The film was a massive success and spawned 2 sequels. Dark Helmet in Spaceballs 1987. In Mel Brooks's Star Wars parody, Rick portrayed the villainous yet hilariously incompetent Dark Helmet. His comedic timing and delivery made this role unforgettable. Throughout the late 1980s and early 1990s, Rick's star power continued to grow, and he became a household name. His films consistently delivered laughs, and his unique blend of relatability and comedic genius resonated with audiences of all ages. A pause for family. However, just as Rick was at the height of his career, he made a life-changing decision that set him apart from many of his Hollywood peers. In 1991, Rick's wife, Anne, tragically passed away from cancer, leaving him a single father to their 2 young children. Faced with this devastating loss, Rick chose to step away from the spotlight to focus on raising his kids. For Rick, family always came first. In interviews, he spoke about how he didn't consider his decision to leave Hollywood a sacrifice, but rather a natural choice. He continued to work sporadically, lending his voice to animated projects like Disney's Brother Bear, 2003, but for the most part, he kept a low profile, dedicating himself entirely to his children. A quiet legacy. Rick's decision to leave Hollywood only deepened the respect and admiration people had for him. He demonstrated that success isn't always measured by fame or fortune, but by the choices we make for the ones we love. Despite his absence from the limelight, Rick's influence on comedy and film remains undeniable. For years, fans clamored for his return, but Rick was content living a quiet life in New York City. Then, in 2020, the world received exciting news. Rick Moranis was making a comeback. He appeared in a commercial for Mint Mobile alongside Ryan Reynolds, reminding everyone of his unparalleled comedic charm. Additionally, Rick announced his involvement in a sequel to Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, titled Shrunk, signaling his return to acting after a nearly two-decade hiatus. Fans rejoiced at the prospect of seeing him back on screen, knowing that his unique brand of humor was missed. The enduring appeal of Rick Moranis. Rick Moranis is more than just an actor, he's a cultural icon. His films have stood the test of time, continuing to entertain new generations. His ability to connect with audiences through humor, humility, and heart has ensured his place in Hollywood history. Rick's story is one of talent, resilience, and unwavering commitment to family. He reminds us that success isn't just about the roles we play on screen, but the roles we play in the lives of those we love. So, as we celebrate the life and legacy of Rick Moranis, let's remember the laughter he has brought into our lives and the example he has set through his actions. Rick Moranis is proof that even in the world of show business, staying true to yourself and your values is the greatest achievement of all.